Today we're going to talk about getting media coverage on USA radio stations, because if you're doing PR in the US, especially local PR or stories for the local angles, radio stations are one of the easiest places to get your stories featured. And they syndicate all over the place, much more so than traditional news and TV news in America. So the American radio landscape is dominated by three companies. These are Townsquare Media, who have 342 radio stations and over 400 websites. They also run big music websites like XXL, which is a hip-hop magazine, and Loudwire, which is a rock music magazine. Beasley Media Group, who have 37 radio stations in 14 states, each with their own website. And iHeart Media, who have 870 radio stations across the US and Canada, many of which have their own websites. Now, I discovered how kind of easy it is to get on radio stations last year when I ran a campaign around the most popular drinking songs by genre of music and by state. So this is one of the two landing pages. I actually made a video on this campaign, which I'll put a link to at the top of this video. But it ended up getting 18 new unique links, and of these 18 links, 8 of them were from radio stations, and they're all from one of these three companies. So Townsquare Media, we've got this one, we've got this one, we've got this one, and we've got that one. You can see all these radio stations, they're clearly owned by the same company. They use the same like website theme, but they're different websites and it's different content, so it's not like syndicated content. And they've all got DRs in the 40s and 50s, so yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Beasley Media Group, we've got 3, so we've got this one, we've got this one, and we've got this one. So yeah, 3 from Beasley, and then we've got 1 from iHeart as well, which is this one. Now, I initially thought that the reason why I got so many radio station links was because the story was about music, and you know, radio stations usually play music and often write about music. But I've recently come across this study, which was, here's the income it takes to live comfortably in each US state. And on Ahrefs, it says that it's got 418 referring domains, so it's gone like super viral. But a big bunch of the links, I'd say about a quarter of them are from radio stations. And again, Townsquare Media, this one, this one, this one, and it's all local. It's all local. Like, it's the same story, but just with a local spin. This one, this one, iHeart, this one, and Beasley. Oh, whoops, this one, and this one. To be fair, this one was been syndicated, but like I said, like, these places syndicate all over the shop. They syndicate as much as Reach PLC's does in the UK. They syndicate a hell of a lot. So I'm now just going to go through how to find relevant outlets and journalists for radio stations, and I'm going to go through each company. So starting with Townsquare, you just want to go to Townsquare's website. So just Google Townsquare Media, click on the result. I apologize about the dogs. I cannot control this. Click on menu, local media, brands, and then you can just select the state that you want. So in this instance, I selected KKX, and then you just want to go onto news. So this was Missouri. Click on Missouri news, and then you just want to see who's writing the story. So you've got Rob Creighton, you've got Rebecca Kramer, Rob Creighton. So we want to target Rob Creighton, Rebecca Kramer. So we open those two people up. Rob Creighton, Rebecca Kramer. They don't have emails in here. So what you do is you go back to Townsquare's website, and then you use Hunter from here. So we go Rob Creighton. That's verified, and they've got cases. Rebecca. How do you spell a name again? That's a bit of a weird spelling. Rebecca Kramer. And again, that's also verified on Hunter. So I found that with Townsquare Media, the email pattern first.last@townsquaremedia.com is super, super, super reliable. Really fucking reliable. The problem with Townsquare Media journalist prospecting is that a lot of the times you'll just get like first names for journalists, like won't have their full name or just have their first name. So in that case, you've got to actually go on Townsquare's LinkedIn and try and work out from there. It'll be just search the first name and you'll find someone who has the title of like staff writer or local journalist, and then you just find out their full name from that and type that into Hunter. Go to Beasley Media. It's a very, very similar process. So you go to Beasley's website, which is here. You then click on brands. You then scroll down to locations, and then it will give you all the different locations, and you just click on the one that you want to target. So in this one, I went for Detroit's classic rock, and then you click on latest stories or news or whatever indicates that it's news, and you scroll down to local news, which in this case is everything to do with Detroit. Again, you open up the stories and see who the writer is. And I found out that the main writer here was Erickson. So again, click her name, go back to Beasley Media's website. Hunter and Erickson, verified, 26 instances of her email. And a bit like with Townsquare, first.last@bbgi.com is really, really reliable. So as long as you can get the journalist's name, 8-9 times out of 10, that's going to work. iHeart. Now, iHeart is a little bit different. It's a much bigger company, and they have way, way more radio stations than the other two companies. And not all the radio stations publish local news. In fact, it's actually quite a small minority that publish local news. So instead of going to iHeart's website and looking, leafing through their radio stations on the website, it's easier to just do a site search of site:/iheart.com, because all of iHeart stations are on an iHeart subdomain, and then just go site:/iheart.com, local news in area. So I did this for Boca Raton in Florida, and you just want to open up things that are news reports. So I opened up this one, and this one, and it is all written by the same person, Joel Malkin. So here's clearly the guy who writes the Boca Raton stories for the iHeart stations. So again, we go to any of these websites because it's all on the same domain, so Hunter will work for all of them. Joel Malkin, searching, verified. So Joel Malkin at iHeartMedia.com. So the most common email pattern is first.last@iheart.com. Note first.last@iheart.com, not first.last, just first last, no dot at iheart.com. And just as a side note, the iHeart email address patterns are less reliable than the other two. There's more freelancers working there. There's just more variety in the patterns, probably because it's a bigger company. So you are going to get more bouncers than with Beasley and with Townsquare. But again, because the news landscape in the US, because the traditional news is so centered around TV, when it comes to digital PR, radio stations are often a better bet than just general local news stations. So if you're doing any type of campaign that is in America, especially if it's got a local angle, target radio stations, and this is how you do it. So if you enjoyed that video, you learned something, and you'd like to work with me, you can go to my website at olliebaysdigital.com, or just Google Ollie Bays Digital, which is the name of this channel, and you will find me, and you can find out more about me there, make an inquiry. If you want to just straight up email me, my email address is ollie, O-L-I, at olliebaysdigital.com. And if you just like the video but you don't really want to speak to me, fair enough, but please like, comment and subscribe.